Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Salon Talk with Nancy. I'm your host. I'm Nancy, and I'm so excited to share information today. We're going to talk about the 12 types of buyers. If you did not get the opportunity to watch part one with Kristi Valenzuela of creating a kick-butt killer retail culture in your salon, this is part two, and we're going to talk about the 12 different types of buyers. So let's see. Kristi, can you tell us a little bit about yourself for all the viewers that didn't get the opportunity to watch part one?
Yeah, for sure. So, first of all, thank you for having me, Nancy. Appreciate it. I always love jumping on things like this and meeting cool people that that I don't know, and hopefully we can be all friends after this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am currently a co-owner of Summit Salon Business Center, and I've been a co-owner of the company for over 20 years now. Prior to that, I owned a coaching company called Crystal Focus Salon Coaching, and
Mm-hmm.
owned that. Actually, owned them. There was a little bit of overlap at that time, so I owned Crystal Focus and Summit at the same time. But Crystal Focus really focused on the front desk and customer service and sales for the front desk and supporting service providers and growing their business from the front desk, and grew that company for 15 years and 7 trainers, and we were global.
Yeah.
But before that, I worked in a salon company and was a service provider in a salon company, servicing a full-time clientele. And so my heart today is really to be with the service provider or, with your
Mm-hmm.
stylist
Yeah.
and, really focusing on them because, part one, when we talked about sales mindset and
Yeah.
inventory and things like that, that was all salon owner talk. Now we're going to do stylist talk. And, what I would love to do, of course, we're going to talk about the 12 buyer types. But, at some point, I'll probably talk about the top 3 mistakes that stylists make when it comes
Yeah.
to selling retail. So that'll bubble out of me somehow,
Yeah.
probably, Nancy.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. I made a commitment. I'll tell you a quick story before I ask you my 2 questions.
Mhm.
So I had a live Instagram talk show last year, maybe the year. It was I probably did about 12 episodes. It was so fun. I loved it. So it might have been a year and a half. And one of the things I started it because I was scared to do lives. And so whenever I'm fearful of something, I literally tell myself, now I got to do it. So whenever I catch myself saying, I'll never do that. So another example, when all the high fashion hair color was coming in, and I remember that, all the brands are trying to launch like these high fashion hair colors. And I thought, I would never do that. And the second it didn't even come out of my mouth all the way. And I thought, Yache, now you have to. Now you
Oh,
have
I
because
love it.
I believe in having an open mind, evolving, growing with, especially in this industry, right? So my husband, I got married, I had rose gold hair. Yep, yep. And so I learned to love it. I actually loved it. I was like kind of sad when I did something else. I was like, fine, whatever. But I am married now, so on occasion I have to make appease him. Um, but I did the live talk show because I wanted to challenge myself. I said I was scared, right? So um, one of the things you can't do a retake on live. And I learned to have so much fun. So one of my commitments to anybody that's listening is that I will always be authentic and there's no editing. There is no editing other than a filter to make me look beautiful and youthful and young. There is absolutely no editing to my podcast. So I want to put that out there now because now that the universe knows it, I'm committed to it. So I will hold myself accountable for that. But anyways, that's how this whole thing started, and I totally lost track. See, there you go. That's what happens when you don't edit. So, okay, I'm going to ask you some questions. Are you ready, Kristi? My 2 questions. So our
Nervously
list
ready.
our listeners can get to know you a little better. So, one, what is the most unusual hobby you've ever had?
Unusual hobby I ever had. Let me think about this for a second. I feel like I've had a lot. Unusual. I don't know if it's unusual, but it's not a hobby a lot of people have, and that was stained glass.
Oh, that's nice.
Stained glass
Yep.
art. Yeah. Cutting stained glass and fusing it. And yeah.
Really?
Hmm.
Do you have pieces on your wall at home that you?
I used to, in a house that I owned in Michigan, above
Yeah,
every door, there was a transom window that was, gosh,
yeah,
whatever, 4 feet by, I don't know, 18 inches. That when
yeah,
I bought the house, they had a stained glass artist lived in the house prior to me buying it. And over the transoms, she had made these pieces. Well, she didn't finish the work. And there were 4 pieces that weren't, and I went and priced that out to see if I could get an artist to do it for me.
yeah.
And it was something like $800 or $1,000 per transom. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like
Yeah.
5 grand.
You're
And
like,
I
I can
thought,
do this.
I'm
Yeah.
crafty. So I went and took a class
This is how
about
I feel
all
about my
the
own hair.
things.
I'm a licensed hairdresser. And I'm like, I'm licensed. I can give myself a trim today. I'm okay. Right. I can do this.
But
That's
yeah, so
interesting. Okay.
that's why I did it. And I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one. You're artistic. I love it. You're not just business smart, you're creative.
I
Okay.
am creative. Hmm.
You are. Okay. What is the one thing on your bucket list that you're absolutely determined to check off your list in 2025?
Ooh, 2025?
Because we're at the end of 2024. Well, if you have something for 2024, you're
Okay,
like,
so
I didn't.
I have one. So
Okay.
Ireland is a bucket list item, and I am going to
Yeah.
plan that for summer next year. Yes.
Nice. Ireland.
Uh-huh.
Our daughter went there and she loved it. I want to go to Italy. It's on my bucket list. I get to, my husband and I are just starting to travel the last years. We have 6 daughters. Yes. No, I don't take sympathy cards, anyone. No, it's okay. Well, 6 daughters, and they're just getting engaged and married one after another. It's crazy. But so we just started traveling, and Italy is one of them because I am a Carini, which is like Italian. I am a Connecticut Italian, though. So I want to see where I came from. It's on my bucket list. And living in Rhode Island, it's predominantly it's founded by Italians. So I have a lot of people I know that actually have houses in Italy and go all the time. So they said when we're ready to plan it, they'll help us to kind of put it together. I just need to do my ancestry and find out like where my family came from. So before my dad passed, he knew that it was something I wanted to do. So he left me as many clues as he could. He's like, here's your great grandfather's like eulogy. So you have the date of birth, his last name, like all that, and like who his relatives were. He's like, I think that will help you. And I'm assuming that's going to help me, right? I'm guessing. So,
I
okay. Awesome. All right. So, all right. Here we go. So we're going to talk today about the 12 types of buyers that like to, and I'm in my head, I'm going to be totally identifying myself. Now, are we all, it's like the 5 languages of love. Are we all a combination of like a primary and then a secondary? All right, good.
no, and with the 12 types of buyers, it just depends
Yeah,
on the person. I find that when I do this live, most people
yeah,
have 3 or 4 buyer types out of the 12 that live inside of their buyer type DNA, if you will. And but I'm
yeah,
9 of the
yeah.
buyer types. So I'm a super buyer. I'm 9 of the buyer types. So it just depends.
You're
You'll find
9.
yourself. I'm
Oh,
I'm definitely 9 of the buyer types. Yeah.
interesting. So we
Mhm.
can be a combination of things, and you have it categorized where all of a sudden it becomes a super. This is really cool. I love it. I love it. I'm intrigued. And then of course, as I overanalyze everything, I just want to warn you, everybody now. So I'm going to be like asking questions as you teach me. Okay, 12 type of buyers coming into your salon. They're already your clients, right? Or they're family of clients, like, so these are your clients. And the episode before this, we talked about creating a killer retail culture. And so this is definitely something that if you're serious about your retail, which I can get into some statistics about the beauty industry. It's booming and it's only growing. And it was like it was going from like $500 billion to like $900 billion by 2027. So if you think people aren't buying beauty products, I'm telling you, you need to get out of your box, out of your little 4 walls. You need to go take some classes, network with some other salon owners that are actually being successful with it, and get some new ideas, right? So now we're going to learn about better understand the clients we already have, what motivates them to buy. So talk to me about the 12 types of buyers, and I'm taking notes.
Well, okay. And before I get into the 12 buyers, I want to
Yeah,
talk about the genesis of where this came from,
yeah,
right? And so if I
yeah.
go all the way back, oh my gosh, probably 8, 9 years ago, um, how this all came about was I got a phone call from a salon company in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And
Yeah.
they said, I had been up there several times working with that salon company. They have about 18 locations. And so they said, Kristi, our team loves you. They love the scripts that you bring. They love your content. We want to bring you back in for an event and be part of our big event. We're going to give you an hour. You're going to be on stage. Now, there's 450 employees in these locations. Okay. 450
Yeah.
employees. It's a
That's
big
crazy. Yeah.
room full of people.
Hmm.
And the request was, we want it to be about retail, but we don't want you to teach anything. We just want your script. We want your off the cuff scripts. So we just want people to stand up and ask you questions about what you would say if a salon client said blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I I don't normally get speechless or scared. And I was both of those things. I was like, that sounds terrifying. All I can think of is a
Which is
spotlight
why you had
saying,
to do it, right? Why you
yeah,
had to do it when you're
exactly.
scared. You force yourself.
450
Yes, I'm scared.
people.
Oh, damn it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
What's the
And
worst
I
that could
thought,
happen?
and I thought to myself, like, what if I don't have an answer? And then what if there's another question and I don't have an answer? And I'm a prepper. So I first of all, I said, I don't know if I want that job. And they were like, no, come on, we have faith in you. So I said, okay. And then for months prior to this, I'm like, what in
Yeah.
the world could they ever ask me? And so I started just being audience members and writing down everything I could think of that they could ever ask me and how I would answer it. So what happened was they would ask a question and then I would have to go into the character of the client, right? So if a client said this, what would you do? And I realized that it all went back to what type of buyer they were. And that's how this all came up. So we talk about
Oh,
12
wow.
buyer types. There's probably 20. We landed on 12, but
Yeah.
I think they're really specific enough that it gives us the idea that people buy for different reasons. And we call these people
Yeah.
consumers. So Nancy, you're a consumer. I'm a
Yeah.
consumer. What do we
Yeah.
consume? We consume getting our oil changed. We consume going to the grocery store. We
Mhm.
consume going to the restaurant. We are
Yeah.
consumers, no matter what country you live in on God's green and blue planet here. We are all consumers. We buy things. How
Yeah.
we buy changes it might change depending on what you're buying, but those
I would
little
think too, the stage of your life too.
it could be the season of your life for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be about how much money you have in your life.
Yeah.
Um, so that also, and I have to tell you one more backstory, and then I promise we'll get into the
Yeah. No,
12
that's
buyer
okay.
types. The other backstory is that as a coach, I would go into salons with the topic, my specialty has always been customer service and sales, equal parts. Customer service and sales, equal parts. When you do both as equal parts, the customer will never feel sold to. And
I agree.
so we have to do it in a way that's beautiful. We have to do it in a way that's luxury language and so forth.
Yeah.
But when I was coaching salons, just like when I'm about to go into, talk to an account that you have, and you saw me do an interview or a discovery session with them, and I have a
Hmm.
lot of different questions with that. But before I go into a salon, I collect numbers. I want to see their sales rhythm, their past history so that I can help them. Most of the time when you go into a salon as a coach and you look at past sales history, it looks like cardiac arrest. There's highs and lows, extreme highs, extreme lows,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Rarely do you go into a salon that's just cruising along at an upper level of retail sales. So then it causes me to ask a lot of questions. And not only do I ask the owner, but I also like to ask the team. So when I have an opportunity to go early and maybe hang out with the team before the session starts, I'll say, hey, in April, I saw your retail sales were really high. What was going on in April? Inevitably, the team would say, oh, well, we had that spring savings sale and we sold a bunch of hairspray. And I'm like, oh,
Right.
okay. So they're like, yeah, we had the sale. I'm like, okay. And then your sales went down in May. What happened in May? And they're like, oh, we didn't have a sale. I'm like, okay.
Or even took an
Well, what
education like a class and they brought on a new line. Like there's so many
exactly? Exactly. There's
things,
some
right?
kind of excitement or sale going on. So what the
Yeah.
bottom line, what I'm trying to say is when I identified highs and lows, this is what the team said. The high was because of the sale. The low was because we didn't have a sale. The high was because we had a sale. The low. So here's what happened. I realized that the majority of our service providers that are out there think that the only time their clients buy is because there's a sale. So the
Mm.
only time they talk about it is when we have a sale. So if we don't have a sale, we're not saying
Yeah.
anything. Here's
Yep.
and there's a big myth that we need to bust because I love a sale. Everybody loves a sale. But I don't always buy because there's a sale. I buy because I want it or I need it. It doesn't need to be on sale. So what I realized through the Halifax thing that happened and my experience of coaching salons that they think that they only buy when there's a sale, I'm like, we have to show the industry that there are multiple types of consumers and multiple reasons why they shop. And until
Yeah.
we can break through the mindset of a stylist that thinks their clients only buy when something's on sale, we're never going to get out of cardiac arrest highs and lows. The
Yeah.
only way you can get to high, steady retail sales if we're selling and the team understands that there's multiple types of buyers. So we
Yeah.
can that's the genesis of why this came out. And I think it's really valuable to understand the why behind it is to
Right.
break through that myth.
And I want to repeat back the mindset part of it is because of course I'm around stylists all day long, and them saying, oh, my clients don't want to buy, they buy here, they buy whatever their reason is. It's a mindset, and if you can educate them, inform them, and help them to better understand, then the light bulb goes on, right? Awesome. I'm ready. I'm so ready for this conversation.
Right.
Okay, it's
All
on
right.
you. Let's go.
All
Okay.
right. So if you want me just to go in and teach the session of 12 buyer types, let's do it. So what I would ask you to do and everybody listening to do is take a piece of paper out and label it 1 through 12. Just put it on your paper 1 through 12. As
You're
I
like,
give you the
of
buyer
course
type
I
name,
wanted to learn as we go. And of
as
course,
I give you
well, I
the
was going to
buyer
say,
type name, I'm going to also
yeah.
describe the buyer type, okay? So you can take notes if you like
Okay.
to. I'm going to talk about maybe the clues they give you, maybe what they say, what we should say back for each buyer type. The other thing I want you and your listeners to do is to circle the buyer type that you think you might be. So, like I
Okay.
revealed before, that most people have 3 to 4 buyer types in them. I have 9. Everybody's different. A lot of people have 7. Some people have 2. You're not right or wrong, but when you identify with a buyer type, I want you to circle it. And then even if you don't buy like that all the time, it's like, sometimes I buy that way, circle it. Okay. All right.
Okay.
We ready?
I want to launch something. Before we go, anyone that's going to listen to this, because I'm going to post this on social media when we're ready to launch and stuff. When I do post it, I'm going to call to action. People watch it and listen to it, and then my social media, I'm going to start asking questions, and the people that have the right answer, the first like 3 people that answer it right, or the first person answers it right, or whatever. I'm going to be doing something. So after with this, anybody that's watching this from the time that I actually like air it, I'm going to be doing a social media post. So you're going to have to follow me at Salon Talk with Nancy on Instagram. And I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to have giveaways. So the right person that gets the right like buyer type. Okay, that's my both. That's my dog. Hold on. I gotta let him out. Hold on. David, I'm doing a live post. Sorry, did you hear that? I wish I could edit that out. I committed to myself.
Yes, I did.
So unfortunately, my husband came home for lunch, and now my dog wants to be out, and he's not even outside, so I can't even let the dog out. So, anyways, I'm gonna have a giveaway, but it'll be on social media. So more to come. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Buyer type number 1 is special savings or sales. We're just going to knock that one out right now. So that is the buyer that's really attracted to sales. This is the buyer that walks in the salon. They see the sales sign. They walk right over to whatever's displayed. They might give you a clue by, just actually walking over and picking up things that are on sale. They also might give you a clue if maybe you notice something that they're wearing and you say, oh my gosh, I love your shirt. And they go, oh my gosh, I just got it. It was 50% off. They reveal that they love a sale through things that they say. I was just in an elevator and this woman had on these really fancy flip-flops that were all blinged out. And I said, I love your flip-flops. And she said, Walmart. So this is the type of buyer that likes a deal. So when you're talking to your salon clients and you're just in casual conversation, they're going to give you clues. And so automatically I want you to think like, oh, they love a deal. This is the perfect person to talk about hairsprays are on sale. So they're going to give you clues, and what you need to do is put that into, just your conversation. The other thing the buyer types are going to allow you to do is they're going to allow you to have conversations rather than sales scripts. Because when you can meet them where they're at, what they're thinking about in their buyer type, it doesn't feel like sales to them.
Right.
All right, buyer type number 2 is majority or majority rules. This is the type of buyer who will wait to buy it till everybody else has it and it's been proven that it works. This is the type of buyer that is attracted to sales signs that say top selling item or 5-star reviews. They want to know that other people like it, love it, use it. And they'll wait till it's been proven.
This makes so much sense to me. This is crazy. Okay.
Buyer type number 3 is highly recommended. Highly recommended is somebody who the clue they'll give you is, as a stylist, is this is the person that sits in your chair, and anything from a style to, how you're actually doing their hair, they're going to say, what would you recommend? We hear that all the time. What would you recommend? I need volume. What would you recommend? I want to wear my hair curly. What would you recommend? That is what the client is saying. Now, these are things we hear all day long. We've never thought of them as a buyer clue, right? A sell buy clue. But when somebody says, what would you recommend? Their love language is that word, recommend. So what you would do after you hear that script is go into the conversation using words like what I would highly recommend, or what I've been educated on, or in my professional opinion, because they're looking up to you as a specialist or a professional. So use all the words. I would recommend, in my professional opinion, the classes and education that I've taken would tell me this. So that's when you say that to that buyer, do you see how we took sales out of all of this?
Yeah. And I'm also looking to see why so many people are being told no, because if I want to know what you recommend, but you yourself personally as a stylist or a special savings and salesperson, and you go over and you show them a hairspray, and they say, well, do you the first thing you say is, oh, let me show you this, it's on sale. They're probably going to go, well, do you recommend it? And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, but it's not authentic, right? Because they're
Exactly.
trying to make a
Exactly.
recommendation based on their own love language. Okay, I love this. You're
Exactly.
so. I just want you to know, I even think you're more genius now than prior episode. I love you, and I'm so happy that we're working together. Okay, I'm ready for number 4. I told my husband, I texted and said, please come get the dog because I'm doing an errand, and you're home, and you let the other 2 dogs out, and he's feeling left out.
Oh
So
my
I'm so
gosh.
sorry, everyone. Okay,
Well,
buyer number
Nancy,
4.
your dog might get my 2 going because they're quietly laying at my feet, but I'm not sure how long
I'll
that'll
feel
last
so much
either.
better if he does. You bark a ton. Okay, number
All
4.
right, we're on buyer type number 4. So buyer type number 4 is the new or trendsetter. So I use both those words there. So new or trendsetter. This type of buyer wants it first. They don't care how much it is. They'll wait in line to buy it and they love to say they are the first to have it. So the clues that this type of buyer could give you is it could possibly be what phone they're holding on to. So if they're
That was my
holding
first
on
thought.
to like the latest iPhone or the latest Android, they did not get that thing on sale. So,
Nope.
right, they probably paid full price. They waited at the
Yeah.
Apple store overnight in a sleeping bag and they went and
And
got it.
people
So
do that, or like the Black Friday stuff. Like they want to be first in the door for some black. I remember people would wait outside of a store to get like they just want. I can't. Okay. Well, that would actually be a sales shopper, not a what's new.
yeah,
Okay.
I think Black Friday would be more of the sales shopper, but remember that there's many buyer types that live in you. So the sale one that you just mentioned,
Yeah.
that one lives in all of us. Like you can
Yeah, it
just
does.
check that lives. But the point being is that
Yeah.
it's not the only way people shop. There's 11 more buyer
Yeah.
types, right?
Okay.
So the newer trendsetter could be holding on to the latest technology, or the other clue that it could give you would be that person could give you would be there might be in their fashion. It could be they're holding on to the latest handbag, or they
Mm-hmm.
want the trendy fashion color or the trendy cut that's going on right now. Those
Yeah.
are people that want to lead the pack in what's new. And so our language, when you have a feeling that this person's a trendsetter or likes new, the new thing before anybody gets it, they don't care about the sale as much as having it first. So here's your verbiage. Your verbiage would be, let me tell you what's hot, what's new. Let me tell you what just came in. It does not need to be on sale. And this could be anything from dry shampoo to to the latest hair product. It's the texturizing hair product or something like that. Of course, you're going to sell them what they need, and
Yeah.
mention what they need. But if they're giving you the trendsetter vibes, that's your language. Let me tell you what's hot, what's new.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
The next buyer type, what is this? Buyer type number 5 would be urgency. So an urgency buyer is the buyer that's very motivated by sales signs that say limited time only a few left, 24-hour sale, 3-day flash sale, limited supply. This is the type of buyer that is scared that they're going to lose out on their opportunity. It's FOMO, right?
Yeah.
Now, the urgency buyer is one of the buyers that will also stock up. So it's like, oh my gosh,
I was
this is
just
such
about to
a
say,
great, yeah, they'll stock
it's a
up.
great deal. I want like 10 of them. I'm just having fun. I'm just thinking about my own clients and the way that they're like, the things that they're drawn to, or they'll be like, you know, it's just interesting. I'm really associating with this. This is so helpful. It's so interesting. I love it. I love it.
So another sign or something you could say to an urgency buyer is, oh my gosh, you don't want to miss out.
Oh my gosh, you don't want, you're calling out on their FOMO.
All right. So buyer type number 6 is self. Now, self is a lot like highly recommended, but it's different enough that we did allocate its own category of a buyer type. Self is somebody who sits in your chair, and let's just pretend that client has naturally curly hair. And you have naturally curly hair as a stylist. And today you have it in just the perfect curls and the perfect style, and it's just
Yeah,
gorgeous. This person is going to say to you, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair.
yeah,
How do you do that?" This person wants all the things. They don't want one thing. They want to know what you started with in the shower, what you shampooed, conditioned, treated, heat protected style. Like they want your whole regimen. So when somebody says, I want what you're having, they don't want just the fries. They want the burger, the fries, and the shake.
yeah.
Okay. This buyer wants to know your regimen. They want to know all the things,
How
and
to
they
do it.
probably will buy multiple items.
Yeah,
Now, our verbiage back would be, first of all, thank them, right? So thank you so much. I love, and because they use the word love, I love your hair. I want you to say that back multiple times. Oh my gosh, I love the products that I'm using in my hair right now too. I can't wait to tell you about what I love because I know you're going to love them too. Do you hear how many
yeah.
love bombs I just did there? So, you're just really matching their energy, matching their verbiage, and so forth. Okay, so that's self. The next one is the buyer type that, and we've all seen this customer. She walks in, she's comes in and is looking at the store shelves, right? So the all of your products in your beautiful store, and
Yeah.
she's shopping and she's picking up an item, and as she picks it up, she turns it around and is reading the back of the bottle.
That's how I buy
So
my food.
so what's on the back of the bottle?
Hmm.
Directions and ingredients, right? Or in other words, features and benefits. So the name of this one is features and benefits. This is the person that wants to know what it is and how to use it. And if they have eyes like mine, they're going to have to pull out a set of glasses like these and put them on and actually, read the back of the bottle. Now, this is a clue. When they're reading the back of the bottle, they want to know directions, ingredients. They want to know, is this right for me? Now, notice that they didn't turn it upside down. They're not looking for a price. They are reading it. So does it make sense that we would approach this person, whether we're a front desk professional or we're a service provider, and we would walk around the front desk and go out into the store, stand next to them and say, I see you must be looking for a certain solution. Tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for. I'm happy to help. So they're looking for a solution to their problem, right? They're looking to read about this. Now, if you would like, when you communicate with this person, they're reading the back of the bottle. So you
Yeah,
can grab another one of the same and read it to them. You're now speaking their language because you're in the conversation. You're reading it, you're pointing out
yeah.
ingredients that may, be the key thing that this
They're
product
looking for,
does.
yeah.
This is somebody who cares more about, is this going to work for me, than it being on sale.
I'm one of these people too.
Yeah. So features and
Hmm.
benefits, we saw the clue, right? We
Yeah.
know our love language to be able to go out and talk to them. Now, the
Mhm.
next buyer type is called awareness. This one's a
Okay.
little tricky, okay?
Okay.
The awareness consumer wants to know all the things about all the things. They
Oh my God.
want
The other ones have so
to,
many questions. You're like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know
They have
anymore.
they would, a clue would be they have a lot of questions, right? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? What about this? This type of customer wants to know how to do their hair straight. They want to know how to do it curly. They want to know how to keep it healthy. They want to know how to do it when they don't wash their hair for a few days. They want to know all the things about all the things. The great thing about this type of buyer is they also will buy multiple items. The tricky thing about this is if they're not asking questions, they're totally silent. And if we don't help them, then they can get offended. So it's tricky. What do you do with somebody that's not giving you any clues and they're totally silent, but you're absent, you're not trying to offend them, but you're offending them because you're not telling them all the things. This is the type of client that wants the tour, that wants to know you do nails, that wants to know that you do deep conditioning
Yeah.
services, that wants to know that you do makeup touch-ups, that wants to know they can get their eyebrows shaped today, that wants to know you can put color on their eyebrows. That this is the type of person that wants to know all the things. This is the type of person that's coming in for a haircut and color, and you tell them all the things that you can tell them about your salon company. They want to know about the reward program. They want to know about why you're dedicated to Redken and Pureology. They want to know all the things. So what do we do with this?
Yeah.
The only way around this is to treat every customer as if they're an awareness customer, which means you need to always bring your 5-star customer service. And doesn't everybody deserve that anyway? So if you bring
Yes, I love
5-star
that.
customer service and you think about it, a client comes in for a haircut and color, and you're telling them about your nail department, you're telling them about eyebrow shaping, you're telling them about your open house you have coming up for the holidays, you're telling them about the brands that you specialize in. You tell them that you're scalp certified with Biolage Scalp Sync, right? Like you're telling them all abundantly about you. And this isn't about what your dog ate this morning. This isn't about that. It's about being professional and telling them all
Yeah.
about the salon.
Right. Which I loved what you said about doesn't every customer deserve to be treated like this?
Yeah.
Because I agree with you, and it's with all the changes in roles that have happened within our organization, I I've been very blessed to work with a lot of new clients and very elite clients. And I believe, and I learned this a long time ago from a consultant, her name was Carrie. And I remember when I was in education and we would go see her clients, and she treated everyone like a 5-star client, whether you bought wax sticks from her or you were head to toe her brands. And I noticed it. And I remember saying something to her. I go, Carrie, and I've told her this many times because she actually embedded this in me. And it was one of those things that you never know what you're saying to somebody that inspires them to want to be more. And I want to be really clear on that. That's why your words are very powerful, because she had said to me, but Nancy, everybody deserves to be treated with the same type of kindness, respect, and customer service in my mind. And that has stayed with me from the second she said that, which was many, many years ago. And I remember when I came over to the consulting role about 7 or 8 years ago with the company, and she's on my team, and I remember just getting to spend time with her. And I was like, here, I just have to tell you, like, how much that sentence, your response to me, meant, that I have lived my life that way ever since. So when you said that, I 100% agree that regardless of if you just get a haircut, if you just get a wax, or you just get your nails done, or even whatever the situation is, every customer deserves to be treated like a 5-star customer, because I'm telling you, that is going to be your point of difference, because most people do not live their life that way. So thank you for
100%.
sharing that. It is a big inspiration. And I hope it is to many other people. Okay, sorry to interrupt you. I can't help
That's okay. Where are we at? So, all right. So the next one is loyalty. This is the type of customer that loves reward programs. And so I travel a lot with what I do. I fly Delta mostly. I stay at Hilton's or Marriott's, and I
Yeah.
usually choose those, even if they are a little bit more expensive than maybe another airline,
Yeah.
because that's where my points live. I get perks, I sit up front first
Free
class a
upgrades and
lot where
stuff.
I would
Yeah.
never pay for it. So this
Yeah.
is the type of person that wants to be appreciated. And our loyalty programs, our reward programs can do that. And haven't we heard before, like, oh, I buy elsewhere because they have a reward program?
Many
Reward
times. Yeah.
programs are easy to do. They're part of our POS things. Most of the time, we just have to turn them on.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, so this is the sad news. Many times, and many times, salons have reward programs, but their clients don't even know about it because
Right.
they launched the reward program 4 years ago and they gave it a birthday party and they never talked about it again. The front desk doesn't talk about the points. We don't have signage about it. It's not anywhere on the social media. It's not on your website. So when
Yeah.
I talk to a room full of salon owners in my room, I'll say, how many of you have a reward program? And watch their hands go like this. And they go kind of like a half. And I'm like, I already know what that means. It means you have one, you're not doing anything with it. So the truth
And where
is,
you don't even know how it works,
yeah,
right? Because which,
totally.
yeah,
It's like nobody knows about it. So
because
if you
people
have a
think if
reward program,
you people owners again, and I'm using I don't this is just a reality. This is why it's called salon talk. We've seen it all, right, Kristi? And it's identifying a behavior and then making I want to make people aware of it so that we can be aware of it, right? So we can change it. That's what this is all about. Not about picking on anyone because I love my best friends is one on. So it's about like we think even like when you're branding yourself, even when you're branding yourself or you're talking about a sale, we tell people once and we think that's it. We only had to tell them once. We have to be so sick of talking about it. That is when people are just starting to understand it, right? Like you just have to make sure people understand it. They know about it. There's signs. I'm with you. Once isn't cutting it,
exactly.
right?
So, what we want to do with this customer is when, first of all, you need to be really proactive in this. If you have a reward program, please put it on your website, talk about it on
Yeah,
your social media often, talk about it on your voice on hold, talk about it, review the points system with your team so they're clear. Review
yeah,
the scripting with the front desk so they're talking about the points. Because if your customer doesn't know you have one, then they're shopping somewhere else where they do have one. And then we get mad about it. And here's the truth.
yeah,
You've lost the right to be mad at it. You've lost the right to be mad at your clients or frustrated or annoyed when you're doing nothing about it. So
yeah,
stop being sad that they're buying elsewhere when you're not really promoting it yourself, right?
right,
Oh, and
right,
when
right, right.
when somebody says, "Oh, I buy elsewhere because they have a reward program," what you don't want to do is go, "Well, we have one too." Like that's so
Yeah,
gross. If you
yeah,
have to say we have one too, you're not doing the right stuff to get proactive about it.
yeah,
Your clients need to know you have one before they sit down. So
right.
anyway, I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, because
Um,
I would think a good response would be, well, tell me what you like about it. Because it was
sure.
actually a really good opportunity to like learn and maybe update what you currently have in place. And just again, it's always about awareness. So that would
Yeah,
be my response.
exactly. Most of
Well,
the
tell me.
time it's you've got a sleeping system and
Yeah.
that's
If no one
all
knows
we have to
about it, then
do
we
is
can do a
launch it again.
relaunch. Yeah,
Yeah, you have to
relaunch it and
relaunch it.
creates a whole new excitement.
Yeah. Okay, we have three more, and I know we're running out
Um,
of time. So we
it's like
have
power.
senses is next. Senses is next. So the
Oh yeah.
five senses we have as human is sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, right? Might did
Yeah.
I put too many in there? Anyway, the two that we really use in the salon would be smell and sight, like before and after. We could even do touch. We could even say touch because after
Touch.
like a wonderful conditioning treatment or blowout, your
Yeah.
hair feels silky smooth. So you can put that one in there. But as it relates to retail, which is what we're talking about, we would talk about a salon customer coming in and they're in your store. So remember, we're now we see somebody coming in, they pull an item off of the shelf, but instead of reading the back of the bottle, what would a census customer do? They would
Smell it.
flip the top open and smell it. Do you see how the clue is completely different?
So I just say something because I'm not a sense person when it comes to this. I'm a performance person. Number one, I want to know it works and I want to know the ingredients. Um, and I joke with my customers because when I ever like we're talking about a product or something, and the first thing they do is they go like, and I mean this sincerely. People that know me know I when I actually really like someone, I kind of nudge you and pick on you because that's how my dad. It's sincere to me and it's very loving to me. Like because my dad used to, be like my nickname was Dingbat, which is like and he did that was endearment. So like he would always like nudge me and we always spent a lot of time. I was a baby with the family. So anyways, I when I have a customer, I give them a product and the first thing you do, they go like this. And I go, oh, you're one of the crazies. Just like that. And I start laughing and they're like, yeah, I love the smell of it. I go, yep, you're one of the crazies. And then I tell them about the actually like that's a buying person. And I tell them I'm a total performance, which to me is like total like clashing because they'll go, I don't care how it works. I care how it smells. I go, yep, right there. You're one of the crazies. Just kidding though. It's like funny, right? So the sense is a smell thing. They don't even care how it works. Well, they'll like buy it because it smells good. They don't care
Or
if it's type.
the other thing is that sometimes people are smelling things because they're super sensitive to it. They might have allergies. They're looking for something with a low scent. So what
Yeah,
we would do is we would walk out to this customer and say, I see that you must be looking for a certain scent or possibly something with a
I like
low
that.
scent. Tell me a little bit more about what you like and don't like. I'm happy to help. So we can walk into that conversation, meet them where they're at, which is smelling, and just really help them along with that decision. Because sometimes I want to make sure it doesn't smell earthy or
Yeah,
flowery. I actually would rather have it have very low smell. So so that's the senses. And the thing is that recognizing, I'm going to use you as an example because what
yeah,
you just set me up perfectly. So if you're not a senses buyer and that's not something that's naturally in you and how you shop, if you're
yeah,
a stylist and you're shampooing somebody and that person is a senses buyer and you're not, that person could go, oh my gosh, that smells so good. If you're not a senses buyer and you don't know the 12 types of buyers and how to
yeah,
step into that clue, you could totally miss it. And you could say, what have you been watching on Netflix? And totally miss the
yeah,
opportunity because you're not picking up on their clue.
yeah,
So even if you're not a senses type of buyer, when somebody says that, you can go, oh my gosh, a lot of my clients love that scent as well. Let me tell you more about it. So what you're smelling are blah, blah, blah. So you're
yeah,
stepping into that conversation and you're helping create that sale because you're stepping in and you're drawing that love language
yeah.
into your conversation.
Can we
So
rename
again,
this to the 12 different love languages of
yeah, yes. So
I
this is
really think, and
all,
then you can be like written by Kristi and Nancy or can I get some credit?
yeah.
Because it really is just
Well,
like the love
I hate
language.
to I hate to tell you this, but we've already been marketing that for 8 years.
That's
So
what
yeah. So Retail
anything
Revolution
innovative, it's fine.
is the 12 buyer types and learning how to speak people's retail love language. Yeah.
Love
Sorry, that's
language.
already been taken.
Okay.
But
Maybe that's where I heard it from, and it's just now coming forward in my subconscious. It's okay.
ah. Okay,
We are
two more.
okay.
The last two. So the second to the last one is convenience. This is the type of buyer that is in your chair. And the clue is this, and we've all heard this before. So write this down. They say, drum roll, do you have that here? That's what they say. Do you
Yes.
have that here? And so with that, there's a couple things that I want to say about that. First of all, that is a client, that is a customer that doesn't care about a sale. They like what you're using. Do you have that here? Means they want it now. They don't want it
Yeah,
tomorrow. This is somebody who is a convenient shopper. I don't want to wait for it online. I don't care if it's 10 cents less somewhere else
yeah,
or a dollar less or $2 less or divert it, whatever. I want it now. And
yeah,
so, but a lot of us will make two mistakes. One is not knowing how to answer that. So you could say, you know, yes, we have it here, right? That's okay to say. But what if we said, oh my gosh, yes, this is one of my favorite products. We usually always have this in stock. And this is a current product here that you'll find in our store. So yes, we have this in our store is the correct response. Now,
yeah.
let me talk about one of the mistakes that stylists make. One of the mistakes stylists make is using product on their station today that's not available in the store. If
Hmm.
you have a volumizer that you love and it lives on your station, don't
Yeah,
use that volumizer today if you're out of stock. Choose a different volumizer that's in stock. Maybe
yeah,
you'll
yeah,
fall
yeah,
in love with it, right? So
yeah.
use on your station today what's in stock. So when the convenience shopper comes in and they say, do you have that here? What the worst thing you can say right now is, yeah, we usually carry it, but it's out of stock right now. I'm not sure when it's coming back in. That client is so annoyed with you, thinking they're not going to say this, but why did you use that on me if I can't
Me,
get it? Right?
this is yeah, I'm a buyer like this when I go get something done. Like if I'm getting, because I get facials and stuff, and I want to get, it's like, if you're telling me I need this, like, I'm going to get it, but don't tell me that you have to special order it or I can't, like, why would you use, I agree. I'm actually like, I'm so this buyer, right? Because busy people don't have a lot of time. They have money to spend and they know what they like. If they're in there and they set time aside to make an appointment to be with a professional and you're trying something on them and I'm asking you questions and now you're telling me you don't have it, I actually think that then why did you use it on me? And then what do I have to do? Go
Totally.
find it.
Now I'm
Go
annoyed. Totally. Yeah.
and you wonder why
So,
people are not buying it from you. Right. Okay.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was going to say something else and I totally lost it. But anyway, let's go to the last one. It
It'll
is
come back.
lifestyle. So, lifestyle is someone who buys items specifically to make their life easier. So in the salon, we're talking about shampoo, conditioner, styling, and so forth, right? So I travel a lot. Sometimes, some months I'm gone more than I'm home. So since I
Yeah.
travel a lot, what do I need in my life as far as product goes? I need mini
Travel size.
sizes. I need
Yeah.
TSA friendly because I try to
Yeah.
pack only
Yeah.
in carry on
Hmm.
and that needs to be able to go through, right? So my shampoos, conditioners, stylers, hairsprays all have to be in the mini size.
Yep. Me
A
too. Yeah.
great example of this is I when I lived in Michigan, I had a stylist and she knew what I did for a living and she would follow me on Facebook and whatnot. And when I would come in, she would say, oh my gosh, you've been to so many different interesting places. And she would carry on a conversation that way. And then she mentioned at the end of my service, she's like, Kristi, I know you travel a lot. Do you need to restock on any of your minis? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are speaking my love language. Yes,
You're like, you get me.
I need to stock up on hairsprays. I always need hairsprays.
Yeah,
So,
I know. Because they don't
so I
last that
left
long.
with,
The stinking hairsprays, right?
yeah, so
They
I
don't
left
got
with a
little
whole
travel
set
size
of
dry
minis.
shampoos. If you're gonna get anything, stock up on hairsprays and dry shampoos. People that
Exactly.
travel, those are the two things they go through the fastest.
It's funny that you say that because the same stylist, so that day she sold me the mini sizes, right? The
Yeah.
next time I came in, she's like, Kristi, I've been watching you a lot on Facebook and Instagram. And, I see that you were home a lot. Like she was my stalker. So she'd say, I saw that you were home a lot. And I love watching you because, you're always hiking or golfing or fishing and you're always outdoors. And when I see you, you always have your hair pulled back and you're in a baseball hat. And I said, that's right. And she said, what do you do with your hair on those days? And I'm like, I don't know, put a hairband in it and a baseball hat. She goes, have you ever tried XYZ dry shampoo? I'm like, oh my gosh, tell me more. So guess what I left with that day? Dry
Dry
shampoo.
shampoo. Yeah.
Because she was interested in my lifestyle. If
Yeah.
somebody has long, luscious, really thick hair, they probably need the leader sizes, right? Because they're
Yeah.
going to go through shampoo more. So that's
Right.
lifestyle. So there's your 12 types of buyers. Now,
So the
last thing,
lifestyle too. This is why I said, you said that you can be so much more than just one. And I remember a few years ago when all our daughters were teenagers, because they're all within like we have a 23-year-old, two 24-year-olds, a 25, 27, and 29. So imagine teenagers from like 12 to like 17. My lifestyle was leaders. Like needed leaders. I needed leaders. So it's like that's
absolutely.
like another example. People think, oh, they don't take advantage of the leader sales. And I'm like, I need you to really think about your customer. If you have people that have teenage kids or they're going to college, yes, you do. What do you think they're
Yes, you
buying?
do.
Of course
That's
you're.
right.
I'm like, and my favorite one was the Biolash Cooling Mint, which is now the deep clean one, because it dissolved oil because they all had oily scalp and every one of them could use it. It all smelled good. They all loved it. I had it at my husband's house and I had it at my house. We weren't married back then, but because we waited till 6 kids moved out of the house, then we got married. We've been together,
Wow.
yeah, but yeah, it was a lot of girls.
That's a lot of shampoo.
It was. We just shampoo it. I'm serious. The leaders and Biolage, the oil absorbing one is. I don't care the gender of that greasy teenager. It is the greatest shampoo and conditioner ever made.
That's
All right,
funny.
this is amazing.
Okay, so
I'm
let's sum it.
so
Let's put
yeah.
a bow around it. So we asked everybody to circle the buyer types as we went. We went through the
Oh
12
yeah.
buyer types. So now what we need to do is add up how many buyer types you are.
Okay.
So how many buyer types are you, Nancy?
One. I'm definitely the convenience. I'm the awareness of what's the one that's the features and benefits. Hold on. I feel like I'm being tested. I know I need a test. One, two, and I'm definitely lifestyle. I'm three for sure. I am number one. Number one, I have features and benefits because I care about what I'm putting in my hair, in my body. So I'm that person. Like if I had to pick between two products that perform the same, like when I'm at if you tell me you're recycled, I'm buying you. I don't care about the price. Does that make sense? So I definitely care about the story and the ingredients. Convenience buyer all day long, which ties into my lifestyle, which is why those are my top three. What are you?
I'm 9 of them. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm 9 of them. So I'm gonna sense that you're probably way more than 3, but I'll go with 3. So here's the thing that I want everybody to understand: no matter how many buyer types you are, whether you're 3 or 9,
Yeah.
those are your selling strengths. So whatever buyer type you are, lean into that as your seller strength. So if you
Yeah.
love senses, then talk about the fragrance all the time. If
Yeah.
you love sale, talk about the sales. If you love
Yeah.
features and benefits, always talk about directions and ingredients. So you can lead your superpowers are how you actually buy laundry detergent or how you pick a
Yeah.
restaurant and things like that. Your reward
Yeah.
programs, picking a restaurant. Do you wait for 5-star reviews?
Yeah.
That would be your majority rules.
Oh,
So think about
well,
what kind of
yeah.
consumer you are out in the world and lean into that. Now, if you're 3 buyer types, you have 3 to lean into. That means, Nancy, if you're only 3, then you're not 9. That means you have to study these 9 and make
Yeah.
sure
Well,
that you
I'm adding awareness because I think we're getting to know each other well enough that I like to know everything about everything. Like if I'm
Yeah.
like, it's
There you
something
go.
new that I know is going to benefit people, I want to be the expert always. So I did
Yeah.
add that. I'm like, wait a minute, I do have to add that one. So
Okay.
I agree with you. So just bringing self-awareness, and then you have, it's easy to identify what you are and then identify it in somebody else, right? Birds of the same feather. But then you hit a really good point that it's imperative to know every other one of these personalities to be able to communicate. Because at the end of the day, I never believe that, no matter, like, a true professional, whether as a service provider, as a consultant, whether you're, whatever your industry is, you can, I mean, I think we've all experienced this. A real, somebody that really, like, that has some, is either a little more seasoned or just really wants to truly believe in giving the best to the customer and believes in what they do. Nobody's ever trying to sell you anything. They're always trying to listen, understand what your need is. And I think this just takes it to a whole new level of being able to communicate with them and understanding you even better as a buyer, my customer, my client, to make your experience so much better. Because at the end of the day, they need products from us. And I know a lot of salon, like, people are saying retail's down, retail's down. And again, I can show data that shows consumers are buying and they're spending a lot of money in the growth in the beauty industry. But we need to change our mindset and we need to do something different. And we need to understand our customers' needs. It's always evolving. And who is our customer? And try to talk to them so that we can make the professional recommendations, because everyone needs hair shampoo and conditioner of some sort, right? And we know if you got hair color by me, I take it really personally. It's my responsibility to inform you and educate you, which is why I know I'm an awareness consumer. That's why I was like, wait, I actually have awareness as well, because it's important. Any thoughts on that?
No, I totally agree with you. And so I want to lead your customers to our website. I also want to talk about
Yeah.
Retail Revolution, the online course. So
Mm-hmm.
if you loved what we talked about, this is one of 7 lessons that we teach in Retail Revolution. So that's a course that I teach out in the world, that you can go to our website, see upcoming events and what cities all of us are in and what we're all teaching. You could do that, or you could get Retail Revolution online course right now by going to summitsalon.com. And Retail Revolution has all of the different modules and so forth. It does come with a download. So when you purchase the course, you get materials that go along with it that you can follow along with. And at the other one, another really great one that's in there is the 15-point checklist for salon owners. So I know we talked a little bit about that on a previous episode, but please check that out. You can also get our app. We have a brand new app. It's called Summit Online. You can get it on Android. You can get it on iPhone. Of course, you can always follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Kristi Valenzuela, is my handle. So it's just my name on Instagram or on Facebook. But it's been such a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you so much. And if people have liked this episode, please make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be getting it on like Spotify and Apple and all the places. This is early on in it, but I'm getting it all done. So please subscribe. And I'm going to, really excited about this and excited about sharing all the wonderful resources. I have the privilege of working with people. And I think I work with the greatest people in the world, just so you know. And I definitely want to share it and make a difference in our industry. And when this podcast does post, I'm going to be, please make sure you follow me on social media, on Instagram at Salon Talk with Nancy. And I'm going to be actually asking a question, and I'm going to do some giveaways. So it's going to be fun. I've got a whole garage full of stuff to give away. No, this was great. Thank you. I always appreciate you. I always learn something, and I'm very excited. Thank you so much for your time, Kristi. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me. Have me back anytime. I'd love to talk with you and your listeners.
Absolutely. And I'll let you know when I post this. I'll share it with you so you can share it on your platform as well.
I would love that. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.